for taking, a little bit of time today to be able to look more into CNOWv2 now version 2. We're gonna go over quite a few things today, and feel free to ask me questions at any time. We're going to take questions at the end, but feel free to jump in as well. Some of you have probably already been to our Instructor Resource Center in the past, but I'm going to begin there just to make sure that everyone has access and understands how to get access to all the resources for these courses as well. And then I'm going to jump into a demo Blackboard course that's going to be linked to CNOWv2 now version 2. And you will have this in your CNOWv2 course shells for the term that just began very shortly. I'll get into that with you and show you how you would be able to connect those to your course. And then we're going to get into CNOWv2 now itself. I'll go over the basic navigation and some reports that you can pull as an instructor to see how your students are doing, as well as the assignments and the interactive tools that the students will be able to get, and how students will access their course, as well as resources that you can look at after this training. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep myself and make sure that we cover all of this, but feel free to jump in with any questions. So where I want to start is our CNOWv2 Instructor Resource Center. The URL is login.cngage.com. You can also get there from our main website screen just at www.cngage.com when you click login at the top of the screen. This is what the page basically looks like when you've got the course open. Everyone should have access to this now. So for all of the instructors, if you already did not have a username and password, we created it for you so that your username is your national email address and your password would be CNGAGE16 with a capital C if you didn't have it in the past. Let me know if you have any trouble logging in. I'm happy to reset your password or make sure that you don't have any problems there. But I just want to quickly get in here and make sure you guys know where all of these resources are. So has anyone been to this site in the past? This is the login screen right here. Nope? Okay, cool. Then I'll just quickly show you what's in here. So as you know, the Heinz Perry book that you guys use, it's got a lot of content in it. We've got some great resources to help you out besides the assets that are in CNOWv2. So the instructor resource site, as soon as you log in, you'll see this screen. This is your home dashboard. If you ever want to change and update your password, you can do that in My Account right here. You've also got our customer support numbers, and you should see my information, your rep's information on the side here as well. Now, the very first time you come in here, if you've added the book in the past to your dashboard, you'll see the picture right here as well as the title of the textbook, and you can get into resources. If you come in here and it's blank, you haven't added any book before, you can always check your drop down here to see what books you do have added. I have tons of them, so don't be overwhelmed there. But you can search for any CNGAGE title across any of our disciplines as an instructor with this account and check out resources. So whether you're teaching a different business course or a finance or another type of accounting course, you can check out our resources for other books here as well. The easiest way is just to take that ISBN that's on the back of your book and search with that. And you would just add that right here into this Add a Product search bar. So I'm just going to search for my book and show you what this looks like to add it to your dashboard. So once it's loaded here, it will show me again the picture of the book I want to add, as well as all the supplements that are available. So you'll see there's a bunch of different links here for different versions of CNOW. There's a simulation that some students can do. You don't have to click any of these CNOW things because we are going to connect that to your account for you through Blackboard. But if you just want to check it out and create a demo course for yourself to play around in tonight, you can always add CNOW by clicking that first link. In the second link here, if you use our test bank files in your class for quizzes or test grades, if you ever want to be able to customize those test bank files and move questions around, edit them, you can always select this second option here, which is CENGAGE Learning Testing powered by Cognero. That's a free resource for instructors to use, and if anyone would like more information on how to customize test banks with that software, I'm happy to do that. But once you selected the supplements you want, you can scroll down and click Add Selected to Instructor Resource Center. That's going to bring you to the page that you saw in the beginning where you have that book and resources added to your own dashboard. So we'll just let this process for a second. And please let me know if the screen share cuts off at any point. That's happened to me a few times. I'm going to keep checking to make sure that everything's working well here. Computer's going a little slow. Okay, cool. So once you've loaded it, then you'll have the book right here. If you ever need a desk copy or a sample, you can always request that, and that I'll actually get notified to send that to you. You can also always send us an email. But right in here, once you have any Cengage Now courses set up, you'll see this link under My Course for Cengage Now version 2, and you will be able to get into any of your CNOW courses through this link. Primarily, you'll probably want to go through your Blackboard, though, which I'll show you next. But whenever you add a book, you're going to have your instructor companion site, and that's what I wanted to show you right here. This is going to open up in a separate window, and any resources that are built for instructors, solution files, test banks, instructor manuals will be found right here, and you can download these to your computer to use throughout the term and the year. So right here you can check out resources by chapter by selecting the chapter that you want in this drop down, but the easiest way to get resources is to go right here where it says book resources, and you can download these for the entire book all at once. So you'll see there's quite a few things for this Heinz Perry book. We've got achievement tests. These are extra tests that you can decide to use for your student. They're problems and sets of problems. You've got Excel template solutions. These are some assignments that you'll find in the book. Your test banks are right here. You've also got some different things from modules. If there's any files that students have to download, they're found down here. And then you'll also see your solutions manuals and the instructor's resource manual. So, and your PowerPoint slides. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Feel free to download it and see if it helps you using it in class or while you're online. That's all for you. So are there any questions about the instructor companion site or how you can download these? Nope. Can I just do a check and make sure that we still have people on the phone? Okay, great, cool. Okay, awesome. So, just wanted to make sure. Okay, great. So, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint now. That's the instructor resource site. So try to log in after this. If you have any issues, let me know, and we can make sure that you're set up for that. So the next thing that I want to show you is what this course is going to look like in Blackboard and how you'll get this set up. So as we are speaking right now, we have a member of our team whose name is Jeanette Wilson, and she is our digital solutions coordinator. Her job is to create and set up these online solutions inside your learning management system for you so that there's very little work to be done. She's doing that with the Accounting 101, 102, and 201 sections right now. She had got some information from your LMS administrator to be able to do that. And basically, she's creating master copies of these courses that already have assignments populated in them for you to use. If this is your first time using Cengage Now, you might just want to use that course as is once it's in your Blackboard course. Maybe as you get used to the program, you want to change some settings or be able to add assignments of your own. You know, it's a learning process, and feel free to let us know if there's anything that you want changed for your course, and we can help you out with that. But basically what's going to happen is later today, you'll get an email from Jeanette who will let you know that your content is available in your Blackboard courses. And she'll give you basic instructions to be able to link that content to your Cengage Learning account and make it live. So I'm going to quickly go through that process so that you've seen it, but she'll also give you instructions. I'm going to log into my Blackboard demo account right here. And I've created a little mini demo course that really has like a week of information here. I've created a week 1. So once you're done and you've completed this, and Jeanette gives you an email telling you that your course is ready, you'll go in and you'll see some links under your course content. Anything that has this little blue pinwheel is a Cengage resource. So that's going to be a link to something inside Cengage Now. You'll have your main link. This just opens up Cengage Now, the entire course, right here at the top. And then you'll have folders for the different weeks of the course that will have assignments and resources in there for your students. You'll also have a link that will take you right to Cengage Tech Support. So if you or your students are having any issues, you have a question about how something is working, you can always click this link and it'll take you right to the page to be able to create a tech support ticket, okay? So that's a good place to go. Because this is linked into your course, it's already feeding information to us, telling us, you know, what book you're using, what version of the online software you're using, the fact that you're in a Blackboard course and the version of Blackboard. So it's already going to cut off a little bit of information that you'd have to give us to help us figure out a solution to your problem. So this is the quickest way for you to enter a tech support ticket. Okay, so once you come in here, the first thing you're going to have to do is you want to be able to sync your links in your course to your Cengage account. So you're going to have to do this one time with however many sections that you have. Jeanette's going to give you instructions, but this is basically what it is, okay? I have screenshots here. But what you'll do is, Jeanette will tell you that your course is ready. You'll go into your course under Content and click any of those links that has the Cengage pinwheel. So you can click the very first link. As soon as you do, a screen is going to pop up, and it looks just like the login page to our instructor resource site. You're just going to have to take your instructor resource site username and password and log in. So remember, your username is going to be your national email address unless you had an account in the past with us. Again, if you need help with that, I'm happy to do that. And then your password. As soon as you log in, that will be linking your Cengage account with your Blackboard course. The next thing that you have to do is just let Blackboard know which Cengage Now course you want to copy over. So Jeanette's already created these master course shells for you. So once you see a screen that looks like this, you'll have the cover of your book and the name of your book here. You have three options: to create a brand new Cengage Now course, to copy one of your own existing courses, or to copy from a colleague. So who you're copying from here is Jeanette, who has created these and set these up for you. So you're just going to click the third option, copy a colleague's existing CNOWv2 course. And once you do that, this little box is going to pop up that's going to ask you for a course key. In that email Jeanette is going to send you today, she'll give you the course key that you want to copy and paste in there. So you'll just copy and paste that into this box and click verify. Once you do that, a new box will open up, and you just need to put in the basic information for your course. So that's your course name, whether it's ACC 101 Section 1 or whatever it is. And then you'll put in your course start date and end date. You want to make sure that these are accurate to the term that you guys are in. So if you want to make the course start date today, and then the end date the last day of your term, or even a couple days past, that will be perfect. If you would accidentally put in the course end date as about, like, let's say tomorrow you have the course ending, what's going to happen is students won't be able to access their assignments after that course end date. We will be able to edit that after this point, but just to make sure you don't have any problems, make sure you put the correct end date for your term in here, and then your time zone. And once you have those pieces of information, you can click continue, and now your course has been linked. So it's a brief process that you just have to do to make sure that you're connecting your Blackboard course to the correct master course that Jeanette has created for us, and it's also connecting your Blackboard course to your Cengage Learning account. Okay, so I'm going to give everyone this PowerPoint so that you'll have these screenshots, but Jeanette will also send you instructions for how to do that. Are there any basic questions about how that's going to be set up inside Blackboard? Yeah, no, I understand. You know, the first time you do it, it's going to be really easy, but I've already linked up this one, but it's literally just clicking one of these links and then following the screenshots that we've got there. If you have any questions, or if you think that maybe something wasn't done correctly, you can give me a call, and we're happy to walk through it with you as well. Okay, so don't worry about it. Cool. Great. Okay, so now we're going to show you a little bit more about what this course looks like. So you can see that, you'll be able to get into CNOW through your Blackboard course. Any of the grades from assignments that you got in CNOW will also filter over to your Blackboard gradebook. It's seamless integration, so you don't have to enter those grades individually. You'll have your weekly folders that will have individual assignments in here. So let's say I want to go into my reading for week 1. I'll have my CNOW link, and it'll open up in a new window and take me to that particular assignment, which is a reading in the ebook. So note that whenever I am clicking links, it's going to open up as a new window. Depending on your browser settings, you might have a pop-up blocker turned on, and it might ask you to give Cengage site permission to be able to open up a new window. Just make sure you allow that the first time so that you don't have any other issues. If you have any students saying that they're clicking on the links and nothing is appearing, that's the first thing to ask. Did you turn your pop-up blocker off, and did you give the site permission? Okay, so it's always going to open up in a new window. We're going to get into the main course now, so I can show you the navigation. So I'm going to go back to the main content page and just open up my CNOW link so you can see the home page of CNOW. So basically what you're going to have in here, the entire ebook that your students have as a print book as well is going to be in here for them to use. We'll go over some of the tools that students can use. You've also got any of the end of chapter questions, which a lot of people use for homework. Those are pre-built in here and can be automatically graded. So students can work on their homework. You'll also see that there's other kinds of assignment questions that you can have students work through, as well as some study tools. So this is I'm in CNOW right now. You can see this kind of navigation bar at the top. If you're in course, it's going to give you a course summary, the name of your course. It's telling me that it's integrated into a learning management system. This will be your course key, so that would be the code that gives you directly, shows you that it's your specific course. So if you ever do have to create a tech support ticket, they might ask you for that course key, and you'll see it on this first screen. You've also got your course dates when it's starting and ending, and right here is a link to help you modify any assignment due dates. Over here in users, if you've got any students enrolled in the class, you'll be able to see all of them listed here with their sign-in name, which will most likely be their American National University email address. If anyone is in your course, let's say there's a drop add period and you've got a student who dropped after the course and you don't want them in there anymore, you can always select them and click this unenroll users to get them out of your course listing. This third one here, assignments, will show you all of the assignments that you've got created in your course. So this is a good place to go as soon as you have linked up your course. You're going to have assignments pre-created in here for you. You can click any of them to check them out and see what they're like. You can click edit to be able to change any of the settings, and I'll show you those shortly. In Gradebook, this is going to give you a kind of classic gradebook. If I had a bunch of students in here, I'd see all of their names. I'd see the overall score percentage that they're doing in the class. Yep. We'd see the amount of time that they've spent in the entire course. And then you'll see every assignment and how they've done. So I'm in this course, I have not taken these, I have not accessed certain things, so it's saying that here. Once students are completing assignments and they're getting a grade, you'll have this little color coding here that will show you if students got under a 70%, they'll be highlighted in red. 70 to 79.99 will be in orange, and then so on. Yellow for the 80s and green for a 90. So you can easily see which students did well on an assignment and which ones might need to do a little bit better. I'm going to show you a little bit about these gradebook analytics. So after students have taken assignments and you're in here, there's more that you can see than just a classic gradebook to help you be able to see what concepts students are really doing well on and which ones they're struggling. So I'm going to go back in here. So when you're in that gradebook screen, and let me find it right here, close those tabs. Okay, so when you're in this gradebook screen, you see over here there's a little gradebook analytics button. If you click this Gradebook Analytics button, it's going to give you some more visuals to be able to look into the grades of your students. So the first thing that you'll be able to see here, you'll be able to see analytics on your entire class as a whole or by individual students. So if you click that Analytics tab and you choose to look at your entire class as a whole, you'll see something that looks kind of like this, okay? So in this course, there are 10 students in the course. They've only taken 2 assignments so far. It's going to show you a pie chart of how well your class is doing. So here everybody is basically getting an 80 to an 89%. If you've got 3 of your students who are in the red range from 0 to 69, you'll see that in the pie chart as well. You can actually filter any of these. So right now they're filtering, I think, for the students who are in the 80 to 89 range. And how you do that is just click the yellow dot to see all of the assignments that have been in this range, or if you want to see, which assignment a majority of your students have not done well on, you could click the red one and those assignments would appear over here. So it's an easy way for you to look at all your assignments so far and see which ones most of your students are doing very well on and which assignments students probably need a little bit more help in those course areas. If you would then click on a link to one of those assignments, you can drill down and look at individual questions within that assignment. So if I had clicked on an assignment, I would then get something that looks like this, and I'd be able to see each question and how the entire course had done on it. Okay, so this assignment students weren't doing very well on. You can go even further and then click into that particular question. It would be just clicking this link here. And then you can actually see what that question was. So as an instructor, I can say, okay, most of my students did pretty poorly on this specific question. I'm going to click in here and see what question it was. Just like a student, you can interact with the question. You can submit an answer and see what feedback students would have gotten. And this isn't going into a grade book or anything. It's just for you as the instructor to get an idea of what the question was that students might need help with. And then over on the right, you'll be able to see the breakdown of how your students did. So 8 of the students got a 90 to 100 on this question, and you had 1 student who was in the 60 to 70 range and 1 student who was in the 40 to 50 range. So these analytics just make it kind of easy to quickly see what questions, what assignments students need more help on, which concepts students are doing very well on, and which ones you might want to bring up again in class. Now, if you're in your grade book and you've got a whole bunch of students here, if you then want to see these analytics for an individual student, instead of clicking the grade book analytics right here, you would click for the little bar graph that's next to the student's name. So if I want to see how Phil Bauer's doing on these things, I would just click the little bar graph symbol next to him. And then you're going to get a lot of those similar pie charts for that student specifically. Okay? You can also create custom reports. If you want to be looking at a couple students, say that you have 3 students who you know have been having trouble and you just want to look at those 3 students in one particular or maybe 2 particular assignments. If you're in the grade book, you can be in the grade book, and right here where it says select a report to create, you can click the drop down to click custom report. And when you do that, you're going to be able to select the particular parameters you want. So I'll click custom report, and then I can choose, maybe 3 students that I want to look at from the student drop down. In this list, I can choose which assignments I want to include. And then you can include things like this, the student ranking, which take the student had. So if you have an assignment where students can take the same assignment multiple times, you can decide to look at their first take, their last take, all of the takes, when they took it. There's a whole bunch of filters here that you can decide to be able to make the report how you want to do it. But that's how you would get there, is just by clicking the little drop down for select a report and click custom report. Okay, so there's a bunch of information that you can pull here in this gradebook that you might not be able to see in your Blackboard gradebook. Are there any questions about the reports that you can pull in here? And again, you know, this is something that you'll want to play around with. Maybe after your students have all completed their first assignment, you can go in these analytics and check them out. Okay, cool. So, yeah, and you know that's what it is. I mean, this is your if it's your first time using it, there's a lot to check out. You know, there's a lot of tools built in here. You might not use all of them, but you might find something that is really helpful for you, right? Or maybe you find out there's a specific report that really helps you be able to signify which students need help. So, you know, we're doing this training right now. We're recording this, and I'm going to show you some other resources that you've got. But feel free to call us throughout the term, because that's when you're going to have questions, right? Once you've got students in here. Yeah, so don't feel like this is all that you've got. If you have a question about how to do something later on, you can always give me a call. Okay, so we're going to go back into the course now, and I want to show you what the ebook looks like for students. So I'm going to go into the assignments tab right here. I see all of my assignments. I have a reading in here, so I'm going to click into that. Anytime you have an assignment, you open it up, you'll be able to edit that assignment or preview it as a student. I like CNOW because it always has on this right-hand tab will show you some common actions. So from this point, a lot of instructors might want to do this, or maybe you want to do this. So it kind of leads you and makes it easy to find the actions that you want to get to. So I'm going to preview this as a student. Start assignment now. And this is going to open up the ebook. And again, this is opening in another window, so it's important to make sure those pop-up blockers are turned off. Okay, and so this reading is just an introduction, so it's literally only one page long. But you can see when I'm in here, the e-reader is going to look just like your print book. It'll have all the same images and figures. Students can read this on their phones if they have a smartphone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone. They can read it. They can read it on their computer as well. You can see up here in these tools, students can also print pages. So if there's a particular section that's really helpful that they want to get back to and they want to print that out, they certainly can. They can also bookmark pages, change the size of the font to make it easier for them to read. And then here within the text, this is interactive. So you see I've made a highlight and a note here already. I'll just show you how to do this. If I select any text, this window is going to open, and I'll be able to highlight text in one of 4 colors. I can select a word and click dictionary, and Merriam-Webster's dictionary is built right in here, so I never have to skip over words that I might not know. If I want something to be read out loud to me, I can highlight it and click read text. And you might not be able to hear this, but it's going to read it out loud. And as that section's being read out loud, it'll highlight each word as well.
You will be introduced to many important terms.
Over here with these little tools, these I can change settings here. So this third one is the Read Speaker app. If I open this up, I can change the speed of the voice that's reading to me, and I can make it a female versus a male. I also have flashcards within the book. So any key terms throughout every chapter are already pre-created as flashcards for me. I would just click this little index card icon over here, and flashcards for that chapter will be found. So since this is an introduction, it's just one page, there are no key terms, but I can search through any of the chapters. So maybe I'm in chapter 18. And I'll be able to use these cards right here. Again, I can also do this on my iPhone or my Android. With the little setting wheel here, I can decide if I want to see the key term first or the definition first. I can also print this deck out. So after talking to thousands of students, flashcards are still one of their main ways that they like to study. So these are all pre-built for them in here. If I have a new word that isn't a key term in the book, but I want to make it a flashcard, I can highlight that word and click Add Flashcard, and then actually create my own custom flashcard here. So they absolutely can use these to study digitally or print them out. In addition to those other tools, you've also got a magnifying glass search here that will allow you to search for any text within the book or even your own content. So if I highlight something and I want to add a note to it, I can also click Add Note. A little sticky will pop up and I'll say this is really important or whatever I want to say to myself and click Save. This will live over here in the margin. I can always bring it back or edit it. But if I am searching for something in the ebook, I can search for pages within the actual ebook or even my own notes. So you can see here are my notes where I've written this is important, and then I also can find those pages within the ebook. If you got students who are in your class and they've got an iPad and instead of bringing in the actual print book, and you tell them to flip to page 23 in the print book, if they just search for the number 23 in this search tool, they'll be able to get to that page as well. Okay? Something I like about this, throughout the entire ebook, you're highlighting and taking notes. You can easily find all of those by clicking this little My Notes icon. It looks like an orange highlighter. So over here, this is going to keep and categorize all of the notes and highlights or bookmarks that I'm taking throughout. So if I go on the little Highlights tab right here, it'll show me all the highlights that I've made. So you can see I made some highlights in Chapter 1 as well. If I want to go to that particular page, I can just click this blue arrow and it will open up that page on the ebook right here. I can print this out as well. So it's just nice, you know, that while students are highlighting and taking notes throughout their reading, they can come here and print this out and kind of have a little study guide for themselves. Also, if you have any students who use Evernote, or if you've ever heard of Evernote, a lot of students use it nowadays. It's a free account. Students can just go to evernote.com, and basically if they want to take notes in class while you're giving lecture or while they're reading, they can sign into their Evernote account and those notes will be organized for them and saved to a cloud. So if students have an Evernote account, they can sign into their Evernote account right here, and the idea is that on one screen you can have your ebook, your notes from class, and your highlights and annotations while you are reading all in one place. So it kind of becomes a hub of information that students have curated while they're going through the ebook. Are there any questions about the interactive ebook or the tools that students have inside here? As an instructor, you can definitely use this as well and use highlights and use the notebook as well. Okay. Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. So now we're going to get into the meat of it. We're going to check out some of the actual accounting assignments, okay? So I'm just going to open up CNOW and go into assignments. Okay, so you'll see again, all the assignments I've got are right here. I can click them to be able to preview them as a student. You can edit them. Anything that are homework assignments or tests will also have an answer key for instructors if you want to check anything yourself. And you can also create an assignment right here. So note, once Jeanette gives you that email that your course is ready, you're going to have a whole course of pre-created assignments. So you don't really have to do this the first term if you don't want to. But I'm going to get in the edit view just so that I can show you what kinds of assignment questions there are and the different settings that you can choose if you would like. So this right here is a homework. This is going to include some of the questions that are at the end of the book, as well as some other assignments that are found only in CNOW. So I'm going to click the edit button to check this one out. And you can see you can print this as well if you want to look at it that way. Okay. So I'm in this assignment here. It's showing me these are all of the questions that I've got in here. There's a whole bunch. Most of them are fill in the blank, multiple choice. There's some matching and there's some accounting problems. I can preview that by clicking this preview button right here. I've got my the name of the assignment, which I can edit, as well as the due dates. So these assignments will be in here. You can choose when you want students to be able to get in them and out of them by clicking this little calendar. And I'm saying that students will be able to access it today starting at 12 a.m. You can even choose the particular minute that you want students to be able to get into these things. And then it's going to be due on November 30th, and let's say it's going to be due at 12:30 in the afternoon. Done. Now I've just changed the time that that's available. If I want to add content, you'll be able to see the entire library of CNOW assignments that are in here. So the test bank, these are what you would use for quizzes. So if you ever used our test banks in the past, they're going to have multiple choice, fill in the blank, and they can be automatically graded by choosing them here. I'm going to go in the homework bank because there's some more kinds of problems that I can show you here. So the first thing that CNOW has is it's got this little startup center, and this is nice. If you don't see this already in your course, you can definitely email Jeanette and ask her to add this into your course. But the startup center is just going to have some basic modules that will show students how to use CNOW, but also give them a basic introduction to accounting and the math skills that they're going to need for the entire course. So you can see in what is accounting, it's got some fill in the blank questions and a module that students are going to walk through that's going to give them basic information about the discipline, as well as some success strategies to use throughout the course. If you choose to include the math review, this is going to test students on things like fractions, percentages, decimals, whole numbers, positive, negative numbers, hopefully things that students already have a good handle of before they come into the class. But if you see that maybe a few students would benefit from access to this, or if you want your whole class to go through it, it can definitely be assigned. And then you've got the how do you see now. So this is great. It's going to have basically a couple videos that students can walk through, and it'll show them how to navigate CNOW, how to take assignments, and how to use some of the views when they're taking assignments in here. When you get into each chapter, let's say that we're in chapter 2 right now, you're going to see 5 different kinds of assignments. So CNOW is really built around the idea of motivation, application, and mastery. Students first need to be motivated and understand why they need these skills in this chapter. Why are they important and where are they used in real life? That's what these animated activities are going to help students do. If I click the little arrow, I can see there's 2 animated activities available for this chapter. I can just click that to be able to preview it as a student. You can see right here, because I'm in the instructor view, I can click this to show the answer key and be able to see what the answers are for this. But any of the animated videos are going to have a link to a video that students are going to watch, and these are actually pretty entertaining. They're going to be kind of like a cartoon that's going to go over the concept that the student was supposed to learn in that
Purchase of
chapter.
equipments,
And it'll also
consumption of
kind of real
supplies and
life
operation,
scenarios and be this
and
kind of
payment of monthly
cartoon
telephone
that you can
bills are
watch.
all
So
examples of
again, this
transactions.
full screen.
The nature of
Um,
recording business transactions can be best
it
understood
also
by
has
starting
closed
with the
captioning
fundamental
on
accounting
or off,
equation,
and there's a
which
transcript
states that
available.
assets must
And these
always
really
equal
help
the sum of
students
liabilities and
review
owner's equity.
those main topics that they were supposed to learn in class. Oh, and I apologize, I just clicked out of that. Let me see if I can actually just reopen this. Reopen, close tab. Okay, great. Okay, and then once students are done watching the video, they're going to have to answer some questions. Okay, so that's motivation. It's going to really get them motivated to understand why they need to know these things that they just read in the whole entire chapter. Blueprint problems. These are going to help students make connections between the concepts that they're learning. So if there's 2 animated videos, they're probably each talking about a particular concept that you wanted students to learn. This is going to have students really understand the connections between these. So right here, students are learning about the accounting equation, and they have to be able to fill this in. So in the investment in business, the owner of a company has invested $19,000. It's going to give them a little scenario, and students have to write the correct answer in here. So I would definitely not get these right, but let's say I'm going to try to put 19,000 right here. As a student, once I fill these in, I can click check my work. Ooh, and I got it correct. Great. So it'll show me what I got right and what I got wrong. And you can see it gives me some good feedback here as well. So yes, it's correct. And it's giving me a little hint. Recall some basic algebra. I'm solving the equation for L. So this students will work through. And again, it's making sure that they really understand the connections between concepts for this. If you don't want students to be able to do this check my work function, that is a setting that you can put there. Note that in any CNOW assignment, students also always have a calculator available, so if they ever need that, it's here. They can move it around, they can X out of it. Students can print these out, so if it's a student who it's just easier for them to look at this off the screen and be able to figure it out. These are printable. And say that you or a student thinks that there's just an error in CNOW for whatever reason, you see a glitch or something. Hopefully you don't. But if you do, you can click this report content error button right here, and that will automatically be sent off to our tech support team to be able to check out that problem. Okay, so once students are done, they would complete the whole thing and click done to submit. So that's starting on application. You've also got the end of chapter exercises, which you're probably familiar with. There's a lot of fill in the blank, multiple choice. There's also going to be some accounting type problems. So here students have instructions, and they're also looking at a statement of owner's equity. And they're going to fill out some drop downs here and then also enter in some numbers. Okay, so students are going to be completing this, and they're going to be using these instructions to help out. You'll note that whenever students have this and they're looking at, there might be times where they're looking at a whole bunch of different screens. This is new so that students can move these windows around so that they can see things. Over here, this will help automatically sort these windows into a couple different views that might be easier for students to see. And you'll see you've also got your calculator, and you've also got a link to the ebook, to a particular part of the ebook that might help students prepare for this particular problem. So a big thing about CNOW is that, students are in lecture with you guys, and then they come back to do their homework. They feel like they understood things in class, and then all of a sudden they have to do this homework problem, and they have no idea where to begin. So if there's a video or a particular page in the ebook that's going to remind students where to get started, those resources will be available here for students. Okay, so I want to show you one other kind of problem that you'll see. And feel free, once you get in here to look around, open up some problems, try them yourself. There's a bunch of different problem types. So after students are motivated and then they're working through application, you'll also have some mastery problems that are going to kind of tie everything together from that chapter and look more like a real-life scenario. So as this is opening up, okay, so right here it's got my instructions, and we're pretending to be Lisa, who owns her own window business, and it's got all of these different things that happened during this month in her business. And we have to work through and answer these required questions, okay? So right here, I've got all these different windows I can open up, my accounts, labels, and amount descriptions, which I'll use to help fill things out. I've got my accounting equation, which I'm going to use. I've got my income statement, my statement of owner's equity, and my balance sheet. So you can see here I'm going to have to be working in a bunch of these screens to be able to ultimately answer the questions that I need for this, and there's a whole bunch of screens. If I use these tools here, now because there's a whole bunch, it'll show me how I can view these. So you can view up to 3 at once. Let's say I really need to see my instructions, I need to see my labels, and I need to see my income statement. I'll click OK, and now it's going to organize those for me in a way to be able to see it easily on one screen. Okay, and if I'm working on my income statement here, and I'm typing something in. Now, I'm not going to lie, I know very, very little about accounting. I probably really need to take one of these courses. But let's say, I'm going to write in cash, and then I'm going to make this accounts payable. I know that this is not correct by any means. And then I'm going to make this advertising expense. And you can see I spelled this wrong. So there is going to be some immediate feedback for students. So you can see, this isn't correct, but I also have a spelling error. That's going to be read so students know that it's not correct at all. It'll also tell students if it's a spelling error or if I actually just have the wrong label in there. So sometimes students get really upset with these things that are automatically graded, right, because they think that they're putting in the right information, but they might have something simple like a spelling error and they don't notice it. This will have kind of unique feedback for students to let them kind of know why they got that wrong. So if I click check my work right here, anything that is shaded in red is incorrect, And if I click that, it's going to tell me why and how many points I'm losing for that. So the period label is incorrect. I'm going to lose 2 points. Right here, the account title is incorrect. If I had the correct account title but it was spelled incorrectly, it would tell me that as well. So students always know, what they need to fix to get a better grade, and it kind of leads them to some of the reasons so that they've got good feedback there. Okay, so you can see I was also supposed to do some things on each of these that I obviously did not do yet as well. Okay, so you'll see some other kinds of assignments in there. There's matching, there's fill in the blank, but feel free to browse through these at your own leisure. Do you have any questions at all about what some of these assignments might look like or how students are going to interact with them? Yep. Right, right. Yeah, so I mean, it might be a first time for students as well, and that's why I would highly suggest, and I'm actually going to ask Jeanette, who's putting these in your courses, to make sure that you've got this section from the Startup Center here, because this is exactly what it is. It's a video that students are going to learn about how to navigate through the whole thing, right? How to take their assignments and some, good steps for that. How to use that multi-panel view when they're working in a problem that incorporates a lot of pieces and they want to see things on the screen. So I would suggest making this maybe within this first week, having students watch through these, and then if they have additional questions that you can't answer or you want us to be able to create something for you, we're happy to help. So if there's something missing, if there's something that you want students to know that isn't incorporated into one of these videos, let us know and we can create it for you. Okay, that's a good point though. So the last thing I want to show you about these assignments, so here, I've created a gigantic assignment, and I've got all my individual questions. You do have the ability to weight them, so say that I think this is a very important question, I want it to be worth twice as much. I can change that here as the instructor. Over here, on the right-hand side are all the assignment settings. So right now, I'm allowing students to take it as many times as possible, right? If I have it as a due date that it's due on November 30th, they can keep taking it over again to try to get a better grade as long as they submit it by that due date. You can change that, so you can make it 1 to 10 times or unlimited. You'll see in CNOW, you'll see these little question marks every once in a while. They're great because they'll help explain this. It actually opens up our CNOW user guide. So if you ever have a question about something, you can click the little question mark and it'll open that up for you. You have the amount of time that students can take, so if you want to say you want to actually have them complete it within 60 minutes or so, you can change that. You saw students can print out questions. If you don't want them to be able to print, you can decide to do that here. Some restrictions: if you want students to have a password to get into the assignment, you can create that. Most instructors don't need that. And then here with the grading, okay, so you can see this is overall worth 92 points. Do you want to carry back all of the responses and feedback into subsequent takes? So pretend, that I just took this entire exam and now I still have more time before the due date and I want to take it again. I can do that. If you want them to have a fresh start and any of the feedback that they would have got, any of the hints that they would have gotten after clicking check my work, if you don't want them to be there, then you can click no here. Otherwise, it's my second try, I've already done it, it'll already have that feedback available for me. You can also decide, what you want to be graded. If students can take this 5 times, do you want the ultimate grade to be the best score out of all those 5 attempts or the very last one they took? And you can see you can even add a curve factor, a pass-fail percentage. And what a lot of instructors like here too is a penalty when due. So say that your policy is normally that students lose 10% if they submit something late. you can then also add an automatic subsequent penalty. So then this will go down another 5% every week, hour, or day that it's late. So you can see there's a whole bunch of different settings that you can add for this. This is just to make sure that it's going along with the way that you like to run your class, and so that you think that these assignments are fair for students. A lot of these questions are algorithmic, so they've got multiple versions. If you want them to be reshuffled for each student each time they take it, you can choose this. Or if you only want it to change the first time they take something, you can choose that here. So just keep in mind you've got all of these settings available. Maybe when you open up your course, open up one of these assignments and just check out what the settings are if you like them. If there's something that's in there that you really don't like, that you know that you want to have it changed for every assignment, you can go into the edit and change them here, or you can ask Jeanette to help us out, okay? So we're here to help you get the settings that you like in your course. And again, maybe you won't know until next term after you've used this one time. Maybe there's some settings that you want to change. Okay, it's not in there right now. I literally was talking to Jeanette right before this started, and she is building those for you now. So basically, she's working with your LMS administrator to make sure that those are in your course, and we're hoping by the end of today, you'll get an email from Jeanette letting you know they're there. Okay? Yep. So just wait, hold on until you get an email from her, and then you know you're ready to go. Cool. Good. Well, the last thing I wanted to show you, and we already went through all of this stuff, but the last thing I want to show you is how are your students going to get in here the first time. So it's a simple process. We have this document that you can give students. Jeanette will probably also send this to you, but it's a quick start guide for students. I'm just going to open this up. So what students are going to do to get in here, like you, they're going to log into their Blackboard account, and then they're going to be in their course and content, and the first time that they click any of these CNOW assignments, anything with a Cengage pinwheel, they'll be asked to log into their Cengage account just like you were. So it'll note here, it's just noting here to make sure that they're turning off that pop-up blocker, just like I've been saying throughout. But if they already have a Cengage account, they might already, if they had a course that had another Cengage online solution, or if they ever purchased anything from our site, they would just log in. If they don't have an account, which will probably be most of your students for this term so far, it'll show them that they can just create an account, and they'll put in their school email address, give some basic information, and they'll be in. As soon as they've created their account and logged in, it'll ask them how they want to access their course. So your students are all purchasing printed access cards for CNOW version 2 through your online bookstore. And once they've got that, they'll just enter their access code on this screen, okay? So they'll have a printed access code. They'll use that code to enter in. If you have any students having problems with that, entering the code, they have any questions, they can use this tech support information right here. We've got phone support from these hours each week, and then we've also got 24/7 chat support if they do need help doing that. If your students haven't purchased their print materials yet, right, and they're shipping to them, or they're going to wait for their check to come in to buy it on Friday or something like that, they will have a free trial access for up to a week, at least a week, for your course. So they will have an option there that will just say, I want to begin your trial access. And then what's going to happen is they'll get in without putting in an access code. And then every time they log in, it'll tell them how many days they have left of their trial. You have 6 days left, you have 5 days left. And then once they do get their printed access card, they can enter that code in, and they'll be set for all of the accounting courses they're going to take. So if they take 101 and 102 and 201, they'll only have to do that process one time. Okay, so we're going to give you this document as well. Hand this to your students. They've got the tech support information here if they do have questions. Jeanette will include that in her email. Do you have any questions about how students are going to get in here? Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Yep, don't worry. You'll have the recording of this. I'm gonna send you guys this PowerPoint, which has the link to that, and Jeanette will send you that as well. That's something that she always sends out to instructors. Yep. Cool. So the very last thing I want to show you is just our CNOW support site. So this is a really great resource. It lives at www.cengage.com. But if you want to learn any more about CNOW, basically everything's here. So you can get information for instructors or students. Specifically in Blackboard, you could click this. But you'll see for CNOWv2 in general, there's getting started user guides. You can download the complete user guide for instructors or a more brief version. There's self-training videos, so creating a new course, creating and modifying your assignments, managing students in your user view. Feel free to check out these videos as well. They're super helpful. And then if you want to register for any of our training webinars, these are free for you. You'll see they come up at least once a week normally. We've also got recorded webinars, and these are instructors who use CNOW every day in class. They've been using it for years. It works well. They've seen good student participation. And so these are great because they're coming from an instructor. They'll have some great tips for you to use, maybe tell little stories about how they've used it with their specific students. So you can see there's a good one talking about moving into midterms, getting started with CNOWv2, doing even more, making use of all those resources that are in there, and then maybe a course wrap up. So you can view all the recordings or be on one of these live and talk to our faculty partners as well. So I'll also give you the link to this site, but you can see there's a bunch of great information here. I did realize one thing I did not show you in CNOW. So besides the assignments and the ebook, students also have access to these study tools, and I'll try to do this within a minute because I know that our time is running short. In study tools here, you can add these as an instructor as well. Okay, great. So the ebook here, there's also adaptive study plans that students can get into. So basically, if students want to study for Chapter 1, say that you've got your assignments and you're going to give them a quiz at the end of the week on Chapter 1, they can get in here in study tools and take practice quizzes, okay? And they'll be able to see all the resources that are available. There's crossword puzzle, flashcards, and ebook. And basically it's showing them these are all the main objectives of what they're supposed to learn in Chapter 1. Right now they're all suggested. I can take a quiz and take a 10-question quiz, and it'll show me, okay, so maybe after that quiz, I've proved that I understand the purpose of accounting and I understand the accounting process. So when I come back to this screen, these objectives will turn from gray to green or blue because I know them. But maybe I still need to work on these objectives. And so I can click in here and then access activities that will help me be able to kind of learn and read a little bit more and practice those particular objectives I still need help on. So it's called Adaptive Study Plan because it comes back after I take a quiz and will give me a plan of what resources I can continue to look at to make sure that I understand all the objectives for that chapter. Okay, so that's something that students can definitely use. If you have a student who's not doing so well, maybe they're having some trouble, you can suggest that they spend some time in here and make use of these resources. Okay, so we're going to end there. If you have any questions, feel free. I am happy to stay on, but this is me, Abigail Hess. I'm going to give you this information as well, but you've got my phone number and email address. In addition to myself, you've also got another strategic account manager named Sandra McKelvey, as well as our enterprise digital specialist, Cindy Bridges, who is kind of our expert on online solutions and learning management systems. Any of us are happy to get on the phone with you and answer your questions, check into a support ticket for you. And then this is Jeanette Wilson, who's building out your courses right now. So kind of putting a face to the name. You can contact any of us if you need anything down the line.
And you can't do anything.
Are there any other questions?
Oh, man. So the kids, they woke up at
Oh, great. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, thank you for helping me set it up. So I'll have the recording of this training that we can give to you, and then as well as the resource site that I went over, the Quick Start Guide for Students. And Jeanette will be sending an email with instructions for everybody later today. Okay. Well, thank you all. I'm going to send out this recording, and you should hear from us later today. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Thank you. Have a good one.